Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Moments with MindLeaps. My name is Rebecca Davis, and I'm the founder and executive director of MindLeaps. And we are thrilled to be continuing our interview series on Fridays, where I have the privilege of talking to amazing people from all over the world who are using their talents, their creativity, and often their artwork to change communities at home and abroad. And it's everybody knows by now because I say it every week. It's one of my favorite things to do is to speak to these amazing people who are so inspirational. And today we're in for a treat as we go back to memory lane for me personally, as well as our old friends from Philadelphia. And today we'll be joined by Okewa Garrett. Okewa is a Philadelphia native, grew up in Philly, and went to the Creative and Performing Arts High School, CAPA, continued his dance training at the University of Arts, and then after University of the Arts, went on to have a professional dance career with all sorts of companies, including Eleone Dance Theater, and then working with many, many different commercial artists, and currently landing in Las Vegas, Nevada. And in Las Vegas, Okewa was currently dancing for the Chippendales. So it was an extensive career, and I remember him from Philadelphia, watching him on stage doing all sorts of different styles of dance, contemporary, hip-hop, jazz, ballet, really the talent to do everything in his wheelhouse and more. And so Okewa's going to be joining us, and we're going to be talking about lots of different stories that he's had with us. And okay. Great. And we're bringing in Okewa now.
Hello.
Okewa.
Good afternoon.
Oh my gosh, it's like we're having like a 15, I don't know how many years reunion on Instagram.
Man, I want to say maybe since, 2006 is when I met you?
I think it goes back to 2006, and then is the last time that we saw each other in Africa?
I think the last time we saw each other was in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as soon as COVID ends, on the plane we go, and we'll celebrate in person over there.
We gotta go. I miss it. That was one of the best trips of my life.
Oh, well,
oh yeah.
Let's hear about that, but we also want our guests to hear about this unusual career that you started from Philadelphia, now Las Vegas, commercial work, stage work. Where did that love of dance? I don't even know actually if it was dance or a different kind of art form that pulled you into CAPA in those early days.
So early on, around 11, 12 years old, I began theater.
Okay.
I was doing theater. I went to one of the best performing arts camps in the city of Philadelphia called the Young Performers Theater Camp, held at the Annenberg Center. And I fell in love with it. And summer after summer after summer, I was there. And then one summer I said, you know what? I'm enjoying watching my friends that are dancers perform because they're doing something a little bit different than what I do. You know, when I'm telling a story on stage, I'm verbalizing it. You hear my lines, you hear the character, you see the character, you can understand what the character's going through by what they're saying through their lines. I said, that's cool, but this dance thing is unreal because they're doing the same thing. They're telling a story and they're making me feel something on my body that I is like spiritual, and they're not saying one single word. I said, that's like a godly act. I said, okay, so I have to be a part of this. So long story short, one thing led to another. There was a young lady that lived around the corner from my house in South Philadelphia. And I would walk her home when her mom couldn't come and make it to the bus. So I would walk her home and, she gave me a tour of the house, beautiful grand house. And she's like, okay, well, I gotta get ready to take, my daughter to dance class. I said, really? I said, where does she dance at? Because at this point, I had known all of the dancers in the city because they were at the camp.
Okay.
And I made a really, really good connection with the teachers that were at the camp as well. And I'm like, oh my God, I know everybody at the camp. Like, where does she dance at? What dance school does she go to? That was the popular thing back in the day. What dance school you went to? And she was like, she goes to my school. I own a school. I said, I've always wanted to dance. Like, I always wanted to take class, and I can't do it at the camp. And one of the teachers that was teaching at the camp, actually the director of the dance program at the camp, was teaching that day. I said, I have to call my mom and ask if I can go with you. My mom said yes, and that was all she wrote. So
What dance school in Philly?
it was the Tracy Hall Dance Company.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
I
I
totally didn't know that you went to theater first and then dance, because of like when I came into your life, I mean, dance was so evident that it was your voice, it was your emotions, it was your language.
it was
Uh,
everything.
and the connection that you make with, the difference between using words and using your body is some of what makes it so universal and so powerful today.
Indeed, indeed. So I credit my dance career to Miss Tracy Hall, wherever she is in the world. Thank you so much continuously. I credit my early training to her, because she brought me in, and she kind of made me like a child, and that helped as well too. Dance tends to create a family aesthetic, because you're around these same people every single day, and that's how it became. And that's another thing that I saw, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm in the right place.
Well, I remember, okay, I don't think you know this at all, but I remember first seeing you dance at the Creative and Performing Arts High School show at Kappa.
Yes.
And it was, I think, maybe the first or second year after I had come to Philly. And they were like, okay, if you're looking for young talent, you go to the Kappa show. And I was like, okay. So I'm like
Yes.
sitting in the audience. And then there was a duo with you and Mark Caserta.
Oh
And
man.
I was just sitting in the audience going like, I can't believe these are students. Like, they should be
Wow.
like professional stars. And
Wow.
now look, all these years later, you're both professional stars.
All these years later, man, Mark is doing his thing in the company world, and actually in the teaching world now.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
doing a really, really good job. I'm here in Vegas, continuing my love and my dream of just furthering dance and performing nightly and things like that. So I think like I said earlier, I think I picked the right profession.
I'm sure you did. Okay, but fill in some of the gaps for us. So now here you are in Las Vegas. You're with Chippendales. You did Eleone. You did all of these commercial projects in the meantime. Like, highlight for us something that we can learn about your career.
Man, so I went to Creative and Performing Arts High School in Philly, South Philadelphia. I furthered my education to University of the Arts as a ballet major, and yep, as a ballet major. And then from there, I continued. Well, during my UArts days, I danced for Eleone Dance Theater, starting off in their second company. We're the inaugural group that started the second company.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, myself, Mark, Jaron, Matthew, people
Wow.
like that. So we are the reason that Eleone has the second company. We kind of put that in motion and geared Sean Lemire forward to. We were like, oh my God, we love this so much. We want to be in Eleone. We want to be in Eleone. He's like, no, you guys are too young. You guys are too young. So he created that for us, and that was a wrap, man. And we were just, once again, we were home. So I did that. From there, I went on to Los Angeles to do some commercial work in film, dance movies. I toured with Monica and Trey Songz. I ended up touring with doing some work with Beyonce. I performed and did some work with Jennifer Lopez. From Jennifer Lopez, my longest artist I ever danced with was Kelly Rowland. So I performed and danced with her, music videos, award shows, talk shows, tours, spot dates, and things like that around the United States and the world. So from there, I stayed in LA and began teaching and continuing to dance. And then from LA, I came here to sunny Las Vegas and started my Vegas showboy career here in
Are-
Jubilee. From
I'm so
Jubilee to 53X, from 53X to Chippendale. So it's we're still going.
well, you're definitely still going, and MindLeaps is trying to run like fast enough to like catch you at some point too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, one of the things that's the most fascinating for me, especially from like the Philly dancers that moved out into these different careers, is like the difference between commercial work and like stage work or rep work.
Mm-hmm.
And you've really like excelled in both of those worlds. Like, share with me like a little bit of something that like you don't know until you're on the other side of
Yeah,
like what's supposed to be like the same dance world.
yeah. I think in reality, it's all the same dance world, right? In
Good.
reality,
Good to hear.
Dance is the umbrella, right? DANCE, right? That's the umbrella, right? And then from that umbrella, you have things that hang off of it. So you have commercial, you have concert, you have classical dance, you have cultural dance, you have religious dance, you have so many different factors. You have teaching, you have choreography, you have coaching. I think I made the connection because of what concert dance taught me. I was able to make an easier transition to commercial dance because of what concert dance taught me.
Okay.
Concert dance taught me structure. Concert dance taught me responsibility. Concert dance taught me accountability. It taught me how to dress. It taught me how to present myself. It taught me staging, how to stay in your spot, stay in your lane. And commercial dance has a lot of those aspects that come with it, probably a little bit more when it comes to the motion of it and the movement of it. But concert dance really, really taught me all of those rules and those structural advancements to be a good commercial dancer. Because, like I said, commercial dance moves all over the place. Whether you're on stage, whether you're in a music video, whether you're on tour, it moves all over the place. So one of the greatest compliments I ever got from one of my creative directors was that, hey, Okewa really knows how to stay on stage. Okewa knows his spots on stage. And concert dance really, really taught me that, from the training and the rehearsals. And we spend more time in the studio than the average artist, right? We spend way more time in the studio than the average artist. And if you're not in the studio on a consistent basis, you lose a little bit of it. But because we were in the studio so much, throughout the week, it kind of stuck with me. And learning choreography and remembering choreography has stuck with me. I tell people all the time, I don't forget choreography. I do not forget choreography. So but I don't forget it because of what concert dance did for me, and the things that I learned and how to pace myself and how to, once again, hold accountability for myself. So
it's so interesting. Like, I asked you kind of the difference between these two worlds of dancing. You correctly point out it's all dance. Yeah. And then, like, the first few things you say are like accountability, responsibility, like how to dress. And it's so, like, dance is so powerful in that it can teach us all these regular things about life and like how to succeed no matter like what your job is or what your career is. Exactly. It all comes out of like those habits and that structure that you talk about. It's just so fascinating to think, it's a lot more than pirouettes and splits.
Yeah. Like I tell people all the time, especially the students that I work with, I tell them, dance not only taught me, choreography and the coolest choreography, the coolest tricks and how to do this and how to do that. That's great and all. Dance did teach me that, of course, but dance taught me about life. Like being around people like you, being around, my mentor, Sean Lemire Williams, my other mentor, Wayne St. David, Zane Booker, Kim Bayers-Bailey, Ladiva Davis. These are, these people taught me life. These amazing dancers and choreographers, they taught me life, and it doesn't get any better than that. Like, you can't beat that. You're killing two birds with one stone. And I always held on to that. And I said, next to my family, dance taught me life. It taught me how to be. It taught me respect. It taught me all of these good things that allows me to go on in the real world and, not get recognition for it, but people notice that. They're like, hey, that's a good dude right there, So that's one of the main things dance really taught me.
It's, oh my gosh, you put it so beautifully, Okewa. And like, it builds to like integrity and dignity and like all of these skills that we want like young people to have today.
Oh yeah. And,
it's not something like you don't go to school to learn integrity, but isn't that cool that like something like dance can actually instill it in you?
It's such a beautiful thing. And once again, I try to teach my kids that when I am teaching, when I am working with them, I try to teach them that, like, what is your goal? Dance also taught me goal setting. If I did 3 pirouettes today, tomorrow I'm going to shoot for 4. If my leg was at 90 degrees, at the bar, tomorrow I'm going to shoot for, a direct tilt or whatever, or a better and higher arabesque. I mean, what was my goals? I would set goals for myself. I wouldn't come in aimlessly.
And it becomes like self-motivated, which is like the key, right? Sure, like you cite like, our favorite people in Philadelphia is these legacy teachers and coaches. Yeah. And then at some point, like, you adopt it yourself and you're able to like keep pushing yourself forward. Underscoring everything you say. And so you talk about dance being life, which I couldn't agree more with. Yeah. And like, part of that is why we were fortunate enough to work with you in Guinea, West Africa, because we were looking at it. You've probably heard parts of this, but we were really looking for a strong male role model. I
Yeah.
mean, you of course, like dance is like number one for you, but what we wanted to bring to these youth is like a role model, a person who has all the qualities you just listed.
Yeah.
And then we were like, it's got to be Okewa. Come on, let's get Okewa. Let's get Okewa. And then off you came to West Africa. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about, I don't know, some of the memories or experiences that stick with you from your time in Guinea.
Oh man, what a trip it was. What a trip it was. Like I just getting there. First of all, I'm in Africa, first of all. And you know, growing up in the family that I grew up in, that, you know, Afrocentric aesthetics in my family, and you know, my name is Nigerian. So
I remember you
having
telling me that. Yeah.
yeah, so having those Afro, you know, centric upbringing and roots, and you know, the religion that we practice, and my family's culture, it was a no-brainer for me to go, number one. Number two, I felt right at home. You know, I felt right at home. The average person probably would have been a little hesitant and you know, maybe scared, but I felt right at home. I remember getting out of the car and not being able to see my hand in front of my face, and I said, you know what, we're going to do this. I said, we're going to do this, you know, for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, however. I think we was there for 2 weeks. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to engulf myself in everything and become one of the natives for 2 weeks, which was 2 long weeks, but I loved it. Because I was out of my comfort zone. You know what I mean? I was out of my normalcy of you know, privilege here in the States. You know what I mean? Having my phone work, and you know, being able to turn on the light and turn it off when I felt like it, and this and that and that and this. But I said I'm going to engulf myself in everything, and it ended up becoming one of the best trips overseas that I've taken.
Okay, it's so cool to hear you reflect on it. Definitely, you looked to me. I was like lucky enough to be on the same trip as you. You looked totally right at home. I remember
Yeah,
one day we were in the studio, kind of the
yeah,
space,
yeah,
and I turned around and like you took one of the traditional drums from the Guinean drummer, and I just see
yeah,
you like, how does he know all of this? Like you
yeah.
like we're playing right on the beat, and then you're like, yeah, I know this, Rebecca, and I was like, wow.
That's my culture. I mean, I'm a drummer as well. So
Yeah.
I'm with what you call Omo Anya, and I play these traditional Afro-Cuban drums. And but I grew up playing djembe, which is the drum that they were playing over there, and the dun dun drums, which is the other set of drums that they were playing over there. But it was natural to me. It was just, you know, like I said, I felt right at home. I felt very comfortable, and being out of my comfort zone, being out of my normalcy, um, was amazing for me, because when I got back, I said, you know what? Life as I know it, first of all, it's changed for me. I will no longer complain about things. I will no longer, you know, not appreciate the little things and big things that I may get, but I have a different outlook on appreciation, you know, for my life and for life in general, and the things that I do, the things that I connect myself with, the things that I become a part of. So that's really what Africa gave me. That's really what Guinea gave me.
It's so beautiful to hear how experiences abroad then help us change our lives back here. And
Yeah,
I think that, you know, it like we can describe it, we can show pictures, we can tell stories, but it's just different when, as you say, you're living it day in and day out, and you've got to
yeah,
make it work. That's
yeah,
what sticks with you after so many years.
yeah. It became such a, you know, it's funny. I was telling my mom the other day. I said, you know, not to toot my own horn, but like I became like the man over there. You know, after class, I would hop on the
Oh
back of the
no.
bikes. I would hop on the back of the bikes, you know, from the, you know, the people in the neighborhood, and they would ride me around the neighborhood, and people were like giving me high fives and like, oh, there he is, oh, there he is, the dancer, the dancer. So you know, and I would hang out at night, and you know, one of the things I tried to do as well, because I was such out of my comfort zone, was I would try to do things after we were finished teaching, after the school day was over and we went home and kind of winded down. I would
Yeah.
try to find things to do that I would normally do here in the States. So, you know, like going out to eat, hanging out at, you know, one of the local bars, you know, I ended up going with our country director and hanging out with, you know, his friends at their homes and things like that. So it became like, it became normal. Once I started to get
Yeah.
used to it, once I started to get in the thick of things, I had to leave. And I was like, no, we should stay here for another week. But it was wonderful. It was wonderful to experience that. They thought I was Ghanaian. I'm like, no, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
American. I'm
Yeah.
American.
And then
But
they're speaking to you in French and they're like waiting for you to respond.
yeah, and I'm like, God, como te? But it was beautiful. It was such a
Well, you
beautiful
should
trip.
go. Oh, what are the things that you started that I don't think we've had the moment to, to share this with you, but now every dancer that's gone back to Guinea
Uh-huh.
since 2013, since your trip, now the
Yes.
students and the staff say to me, well, this dancer like can't play drums. I'm like, no, the only dancer who can play drums is Okewa. This is not like the standard
Wow.
skill. It was only Okewa next to your trip, but you
Wow.
can't play drums.
That
So
is amazing. That is amazing. I didn't know that had such an impact on them. I didn't
oh,
know.
totally. Because of what you
Wow.
said, then it's like, oh, you're one of us, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that really felt good, man. Like I said, one of the best trips I've ever been on. And I've been a lot of places, overseas. But that trip really, it brought me back down. It brought me down to life. It brought me to the earth, and it humbled me, And I was like, yeah, this is what I needed at that moment. This is what I needed. And it's funny because I actually had an opportunity to go to Australia that same time. And I said, you know what? Nah, I'll see them when we go overseas in the summertime. I said, I'll see them soon. I need to be here. So thank you for having that, for, bringing me on that trip.
Oh my gosh, it was is an awesome experience for me personally outside of
Yeah.
my to be
Yeah.
with you on the trip. And like we were catching up before, I can't wait for you to come back and see the center now, see Ansu running our center, see how much our kids have
Wow.
grown, see Salif and Ibun teaching. You're gonna be so proud
Wow.
when you come back.
That is awesome. That is amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm
Well,
excited.
we could talk about Guinea all day, but let's hear more about what's happening in Las Vegas. Tell us now with COVID, with the situation that we have in our country, with the challenges ahead. Like, where do you see dance? What are your next steps? Where can we find your name and lights in the next 6 months?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, wow. So Las Vegas is a never ending town. It's a never ending town. It'll run and run and run until, like, I don't know. This thing might have to like go submerge itself underwater, right? I don't know. But Las Vegas, Las Vegas is the city of lights, and it's still thriving here. We've experienced some really heavy situations here in Las Vegas, from uh, the shooting that happened 3 years ago to the pandemic and the nationwide shutdown. It really took a hard hit, but the one thing I can say about Las Vegas natives is like resilience, right? These folks here are just strong. These folks here are just strong. And Vegas is a town of like support, right? Vegas is a town of like one hand washes the other. And during this time, you really, really saw that. Like, you really, really saw people just kind of supporting each other, people just reaching out to each other. Um,
So great.
a lot of people really, especially the artist community, we lost a
Yeah.
lot. Shows closed, and we're talking legendary shows that people came here to see. They closed. We're talking about, dance studios, small businesses, they shut down and they closed. So that was a really, really hard hit. And something hard to see, very, very, an emotional time to see people who work so hard to create something new and grand in Las Vegas lose it all because of a
Something
pandemic, and
outside, something extra. Yeah.
something extra, something outside that just, it was just, at one point I said, you know what, man, people look defeated. People look defeated. And to see that, at the grocery store, and it's quiet, it's like, where am I? Like, you don't hear anything. I'm just like, wow, wow. Like, it made me emotional because I've never seen Las Vegas like this. You know what I mean? I've never seen the strip empty, and I've never seen. But I say that to say that Vegas is back, semi-open, and certain shows have opened back up, which is such a good thing to see. People are coming here to vacation, and people are coming here to work and things like that. So it's really good to see the bounce back that has transpired from March till now, and to see once again the resilience in people here, man. It's just like I come from a strong city, right? I come from a strong city, and to experience strength
Yeah.
in the city that you're from, and to experience strength in the city that you have made home, like really hit my heart. My show is not open as of yet, but once again, we've stayed busy. We've stayed, occupied, doing different things via virtually. We still get together and take dance class on Tuesdays as a company.
Right.
It's that morale that we've been missing. The show was great. The show was amazing. The show, as you see, I'm representing my family here.
I was gonna say, it's your family.
Yeah, the show was amazing. The show is, you have to come and see it one day, and I encourage
Ooh,
everybody to come and see it. It's a very classy and tasteful show. It's a very entertaining show. But I think the main thing that we really missed within the last, not 7 to 8 months was that backstage camaraderie and that dressing room camaraderie and just the feel of the family. Yeah, the feel of the family. So we really missed that. But in due time we'll get back to it. But like I said, I've been occupied out here. A lot of drummings that I do, a lot of spiritual work that I've been doing for people and myself, and traveling and staying safe and staying healthy in the process. Chippendales, Zoom that we do, the quarantine parties that we do. So it's been great. It's been really great. A lot of people took a hit, as I mentioned earlier, and a lot of people really struggled mentally with this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Knowing what I know and having the faith that I have, I kept my mental status in order, which, I thank God for that. I've been blessed. I didn't take major financial hits. I've been blessed for that. I thank God for that. And just, staying busy and kind of keeping a normalcy of what it is that I would do when this wasn't happening. My everyday is every day. It's very busy. You know what I mean? So,
well, now that you've talked so much about Las Vegas and your show, I see all of our friends joining from Africa in the comments saying, like, we want to see the show. We want to see the show.
Hey, guys.
Performing for an African fan crowd at some point.
Indeed. What's going on, guys? I'm glad everybody tapped in. I see some familiar faces in here. So thank you for tapping in, and, thank you for joining us, man. This really made me happy today.
We have just a couple minutes left. And Okewa, I want to ask you this question because I think, again, like we talked about, your success in the concert world, your success in the commercial world, how you understand dance is something that's family and something that is really connected. What would you tell these young artists today who maybe haven't found that person who runs a dance studio and is going to take her to class or take him to class today?
Yeah.
What kind of words, wisdom can you pass on to this next generation?
Man, so much. I think one of the important pieces of knowledge that I would pass on to the next generation coming up is something that I learned very early on, and that's be present, right? Be present, be there. Coming to dance class doesn't mean that you're there, right? Because you're coming to train, it doesn't mean that you're there. You have to be there. Like, you have to be attentive, right? You have to be focused. You have to be ready for the challenges that's going to come. Dance class is not perfect, right? You're not coming to class to be perfect. You're coming to class to learn. Once again, you're coming to class to learn life. That's what I would tell, the next generation coming up is be present. Like I said, always set a goal for yourself. Always set a goal for yourself. Once again, like I said earlier, as I mentioned, I would make a checklist for myself on a daily basis. I would have, this warm up, this, is my attire correct? Was I attentive in center floor? Was my adagio right? Did I, all that type of stuff. So I would ask myself these questions and I would check it off the list day by day to hold myself accountable to see if I'm growing, right? It's about growth, right? You only become better by physically and mentally being there and being present. So I would do that for myself, and I would encourage the next generation to do the same thing. That's as simply as I can put it. I could say so many other things, but I think presence is the main. Presence is the main. That's the main key. It's one of the main keys.
And it's true. I mean, gosh, you say it for the younger generations, but now I think me too. Like, everyone can really take that, right? It's like whatever they're doing, there's so much more in that moment and in that opportunity if it's really appreciated by the person. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And okay, so that's true of this moment too. I'm so grateful and so appreciative to not only have the excuse to catch up with you,
Indeed.
Also to walk a little bit down memory lane and to congratulate you on how far you've come. And we know your leaps and bounds going to be never ending in the future, in the post-COVID world.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
so grateful that you're part of our family too.
This has been great. Once again, when I got the email asking if I wanted to be a part of it, I said I have to be. This is, you know, once again, what you guys did for me at that moment, and even before that, because I danced in the company, right? So being a part of the company was great because I was also dancing with you, but I was dancing with Eleone at the same time. I don't think my technique had been any better at ever, right? Because I was getting so much dance throughout the week. And on the weekend, I was dancing so much. I was training so much. My body was the best that it's ever been. My technique was the best that it's ever been. And I thank you for that, you know, by allowing me to join your company and perform. And then years later, travel with you, you know, halfway across the world to Africa to teach some amazing, amazing students that I had over there that became really good friends of mine. I still keep in touch with them via Facebook and things like that. So I thank you for that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. And I hope that the next time we see each other, you'll give me a drumming lesson, because otherwise our Guineans might not let me come back again.
Most definitely. The next time I see you, I will give you a drumming lesson. And by the time you go back, by the time we go back, you'll be ready and you'll be comfortable.
That's the future I'm rooting for.
Indeed, indeed. I thank you so much for this, Rebecca. This was awesome. Well, great way to start my weekend.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, I can't wait to catch up with you again soon.
Most definitely. Everybody that tuned in, thank you so much. I love you. Hope to see, you know, many of you soon. For those of you in Guinea that are watching, hope to see you very, very soon. And my friends here in America, keep it up. Stay strong. Stay positive. Stay healthy. Stay prayed up. You know, we're going to get through this thing. It seems slow, but it's actually moving quite fast. We just have to have patience, and I want everybody to have patience. Keep your mental in order. Pray, and you know, keep living life. Keep living life.
Resilience, and we'll get through it.
Resilience. You know, we're going to get through it. So, Rebecca, I thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, thank you.
Indeed.
Can't wait to catch up soon.
Of course.
Thanks,
thank you. Have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you.